Hi guys, welcome back to the Humble Gamer channel. I am the Humble Gamer and this is some more of my TrainSIm workshop or third-party routes, I suppose is a better way of calling it now because it's not just workshop stuff. This is the Southbridge to Highwood line. It's about 8 miles long and I'm driving from Southbridge to Highwood itself. The whole route looks a bit like this. You can find it on the Steam workshop in the description below. It is supposed to be a single track nondescript area of England branch line. So that is why I am driving this. It's from Just Trains. No, it's from Digital Traction, this one. It is the Great Northern Railway N2062 complete with articulated quad set suburban carriages in Great Northern Railway and therefore LNER teak. You can again download those in the description below. I got them on Black Friday, so it's quite a lot cheap. It was quite a bit cheaper for me, but I don't think they're horrifically expensive. Anyway, now this is one of those locomotives. You'll see if you look at the middle bit here, the reverser. I'm pressing W. It can't go any further than that. What you have to do is you have to, in the cab there is a lever, and I've never for the life of me found where this lever is, but you have to get it by pressing E. And then to lock it, you shift E. Which means that you now... Well, you're supposed to be able to lock it using shift E, but I've never been able to find exactly where this little bastard of a lever is. But either way, it should be about 20-25 minutes at most this run, so... Nice Great Northern Railway whistle, and let us leave Southbridge platform 1 and head towards Highbridge. Now I wasn't planning to do a TrainSIm video this week because of the moving house and having to sorry, I'm getting quite warm. Because of having to move house and obviously sorting everything here, my schedule is a bit mixed up. But I've just had a very frustrating session on Star Trek the video game, a video you will not see because I got so annoyed I actually scared the dog. So I had to make sure he was all right. But yeah, so I'm playing this again. I wasn't supposed to be playing this. You were supposed to get something different today, but I couldn't face doing any other game. I had to do something relaxing, and TrainSIm is about the most relaxing game I have other than Banish, which I will do on the channel at some point, I think, or I might just go back into Life is Feudal. Right, let's give this some of the beans, shall we? Lower the reverser to 35, lovely. So yes, we're now going through rural England. You can decide which county it's in. I've obviously said it's probably in the... I've said for this particular video it's in the northeast, but there's nothing in this route that sets it to be a specific area, I don't think, so it's certainly not designed to have been set in a particular area. So yeah, this is a nice bit of standard gauge rural railwaying. We will do some mainline railwaying at some point, don't worry about that. I am very big on my mainline engines as well, but as I've said in previous videos, give me a small little tank engine or something interesting, and I think the 062, the GNER, particularly the M2s, are absolutely lovely. Let's give it some beans and see if we can get it up to about 50. Obviously these were designed primarily, I've got my railway book in here somewhere, yes I do. For the first time in quite a while, here is the Reader's Digest Book of Trains, owned by my daddy, and now mine. There's a straight M2. The closest thing I can get to it is this, the Eastern Region 062 N2/4 class, and it is primarily designed for suburban passenger, hence why it's got the articulated coaches. Often worked on push-pull stuff as well. A development of the Great Northern Railway N1 class, some engines introduced in 1928 weigh slightly more. I'm just reading you the historical notes at the bottom of the page. But they also had steam condensing gear, which is what you can see just there. Now, I haven't actually looked at much of this route as we come towards Midford platform. Looks nice. This was originally the Southbridge to Northbridge route on the Steam Workshop, which was slightly short. It didn't have the last two stations. we should come into a slow now. Release those cylinder cocks. As we head towards Midford platform, half a mile away. But actually, I've got to say, this route looks very, very nice. I mean, obviously not detailed in the far distance, but you'd actually need that. Treat it like a model railway, detail what the engine actually goes through, and to be fair, from the footplate, that's absolutely fine. That's just nondescript background scenery. Again, on this side, you can see, still got plenty of interest. Not all the detail, not all the routes that are out there for TrainSIm need to be hyper detailed. Sometimes it's better to have a good focused scenery. Oh, hello, Bexley. You're back from your walk, are you? It's good to have good focused scenery rather than lots of sort of nondescript, generic scenery. But there we are. As we pull into Midford platform 1, it was quite a nice little country wayside station. I think there's a fair few activities for this as well, so do check out the activities on the Steam Workshop for this route as well, because it's a very good activity writing route from what I can tell. Lots of little goods lines, obviously passing stations and stuff like that. If you want to run a little branch line that you can call your own and run it with your own stuff, this might be the route for you. But either way, let's gently put the brakes on. Okay, let's gently put the brakes on because there's the old slant in traverse technique, because I can totally drive locomotives on here. Only one of the carriages is slightly off the platform. So I've got enough to collect the passengers anyway. So we should be around about, Midford. I wonder if that's nicked from, I wonder if he's made that sign himself, or if he's stolen from a previous route. Why do I feel like Midford is a real place? Somerset and Dorset Railway? Asking YouTube. You alright, babe? Good, good. By the way, let's make some moves away from Midford. Quite a nice place. Let's do the traditional thing of having a look round while the engine slowly heads off. Again, quite a nice country village, I think. Very nice. Nice looking route. Actually, the perfect route for something like this. I mean, maybe a slightly smaller train and locomotive, but doing what I do in Sodor, which is just fill the background up with these pre-made low poly houses. And let's see, the cows aren't too bothered by my passing, I don't think, are they? Bit of a passing shot. No, the cows aren't fussed in the slightest. So, I'll tell you what, that does look nice though. This locomotive with that set of carriages does look nice coming through the country scenery. Obviously, it's much more based for suburban work, so this is probably outside its remit. But either way, a nice viaduct, Midford Viaduct, I presume. You can't decide who to sit with, Bexley, can you? Bexley, you've got spit all over your nose. Come here. Come here, Bexley. Come here. Come here. Oh, it's not spit, it's snot. How lovely. Lovely. So we're going over the outskirts. I'm sorry, baby. What did you say? He doesn't complain when I've got snot on my nose. No, is that nose? No. That joke was so bad, Charlie has just collapsed. Tunnel. So yes, we're back. So going back to the railway now, while I've got your attention, YouTube. Going back to the railway. And straight into the tunnel. Lovely. They do have these carriages, by the way, do have a passenger view, as you can see here, with the LNER route from King's Cross. This is where you'd normally find it, Welwyn Garden City, St Albans, Finsbury Park. Ah yes, we're now coming to the end of the original route, which is of course Northbridge. This loco's really got some power behind it. For a small tank locomotive, these things were powerful. These things were very, very powerful. They had to be to carry the heavy commuter trains around London at the speed that they were required to. Hello, baby. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? I'm changing after this video. Everyone say hello to Charlie in the comments. Yeah, I filled it up last night, babe. The lives of having pets. Basically, choose where you're going to go. As I said, we are now coming up to the original ending of this line, which is Northbridge, as we. And so it was a very nice 4-mile route on it by its own right. The original route, which I didn't drive, by the way. I've only ever driven this version. I've got both, but I didn't drive the other one. So I slowly apply the brakes. Probably have to take those off a little bit as we get close to the platform. Yes, I will. As we come into Northbridge platform. But seriously, guys, if you haven't already, if you're brand new and haven't seen the rest of this series, I'm going to say what I say in every single video. Please do go and check out these assets in the description below, because there is some wonderful stuff out there. This one doesn't need that much DLC. Obviously, again, check in the description where I've written how much DLC it needs and exactly what DLC it needs as well, but it's not DLC heavy in the slightest. I think it was designed with that in mind as we just pull into Northbridge. This is a nice station. They've done a good job on this. Done a very, very, very good job on this. Incidentally, the author of this route, the modeler, the creator of this route, was also the man who created the Raglan Railway, which will also be featured on the channel. Let's have a look at Northbridge. So, yeah, well, there's the bridge, presumably. Presumably that is the bridge for Northbridge. And a passing loop outside it, and then a small but functional goods yard, and apparently some sort of meeting outside this hut. I don't know what that hut is, but there we go. And then you've got a very simple little town, but nice, quaint. English villagey, which is, I think, like I said, I think that's exactly what this route is going for. But anyway, the passengers are on, so we've got should be about 9 minutes now before we get to, not counting stops, about 9 minutes before we get to Highwood. Well, presumably there's going to be a climb at some point, considering we're going from to somewhere called Highwood. I would imagine there's a climb involved somewhere going up the hill, or the wood's not particularly high. Again, some lovely, not hyper detailing, but some genuinely lovely detailing on bits of this route, like having all the people just stood around in the yard, turntable, engine shed. You know, it's small and functional as a goods yard, which is what I think these sorts of railways often had. I mean, this is perhaps a bit large for a town of this size, but then obviously just because, you know, there could be a bigger town out there. We don't know. And this could be like the Bluebell Railway, the original Bluebell Railway, not so much. I mean, obviously preserved one is the same, but Bluebell Railway had this very interesting idea of putting stations between towns, so a station could serve 2 or 3 towns at once. The idea, in essence, was very, very clever, but like I said, you know, in principle it was very clever, but in reality it just didn't pan out that way. Because people thought, well, it's a bit of a drive whichever way we go, so we might as well take the car anyway to wherever we're going. We're already going to be in the car. And obviously for goods traffic and stuff, even in the early days of railways, you still had, before the car, you still had horse and cart and stuff like that. So as the car came into it, though, that sort of idea disappeared quite rapidly. 1 in 150 downward slope, so Highwood is lower than everywhere else, unless there's a climb towards the other end of the line. One thing also, I don't know if the sound for this locomotive is done by Steam Sound Supreme, but the sound for this locomotive is very, very nice, and it gives you a real feeling of actually being in there. And obviously there's the little shake and rattle of the locomotive as it runs along the track. Making good progress. Making good progress indeed. It should be there in about 6 minutes, not counting. There is one more stop, I think, isn't there? Yes, we're going to stop at Ashurst, and then finally Highwood Platform 1. As we hit 43 miles an hour. So this is, again, it's a very functional, well-designed route. I like the scenery. It's nice farmland. This would have been a good route to do something like the GWR Pania or the 042 or the Terriers that have just been brought out by Dovetail Games. Terriers would be perfect for this kind of little route. Alright, so we're going to slow down relatively swiftly from this point forward because we are still dropping. And Ashurst is less than half a mile away and I'm still doing 44 miles an hour. So I do need to slow a little bit. That's probably enough though. This is like, that being said, I think this locomotive also works on this route because, again, this could just be the outskirts of the sort of, you know, if you imagine that Southbridge is a slightly bigger town than it is shown, then these could just be the outlying suburbs, and this locomotive actually, again, is completely in keeping with that. Let's apply those brakes again as we come into Ashurst. To platform 2. Let's go down to South Lapford Road. So about just under 2.5 miles away from Highwood platform, which is about 5 minutes, all told. Oh, that's going to be a beautiful stop. Look at that. I don't have to control it now. I just have to let it. That is one of the best. That's one of the best examples of me pulling up at a station ever. Didn't have to panic it. Just controlled it nicely. And that is. You know what? I'm quite proud of that. That was quite good. I'm happy with that. I mastered the Digital Traction 260, the GWR 260 Mogul. Mastered that stopping as well, but not many passengers then from Ashurst, so let's get a move on and cover the last 2.3 miles to Highwood. No, there is a slight increase in elevation, not a massive one. While it pulls away, let's have another look at Ashurst. Again, a very nice English country village with its own goods yard and traffic running nicely, bit of industry there, a couple of houses, probably railway cottages there to some extent. Let's just I don't do many of these sort of passing shots in these videos, but let's see if we can get a good one of the engine just as it comes out of this bridge, because I think this is going to be a nice little shot. Turn the cylinder cocks off now, but again, this is a very nice, well-designed route. Not a lot to say about it in the sense that it's not hyper detailed, there's not lots of little vignettes that I've noticed anyway, but there is enough detail in it to make it feel like a real world route, and it does, you know, suit this particular tank locomotive well. I can't imagine seeing any, apart from maybe again a small Mogul, an 060 or a 260, maybe an LMS 4F, sorry my teeth are still a bit squiffy from the dentist, maybe an LMS 4F 060. Well, like I said, the GWR 260 Mogul or the 060 Dean Goods loco. Camping site set up there next to the lake. And some very typical rugged English rural countryside as we power along the rails. Let's have a sit in the exactly the same either side. The detail in here is very good, I have to say. Yes, compartmented carriages. Once known as the Rapist's Paradise. for obvious reasons. There was no corridor, so once you were in, you were in. That was one of the reasons they introduced corridor stock into the railway. There's a small portion of the railway's dark history for you there. Don't know where to go after that. I feel like I've made this unnecessarily dark. But that's what they were called. That's what they were nicknamed in the end, before they were finally replaced by corridor stock. But then a lot of that came down to the inherent snobbery that came with the railways, which was that you wouldn't want first class passengers seeing third class, seeing third class passengers, let alone being allowed to travel in the same carriage as them. Whereas now, first class is nothing especially special, it's just slightly more comfy seats. Just if any British Railways, well, not British Railways, if any of the railway companies are employees are watching. Okay, but here we go. It's been about 20 minutes since we left, so we're now coming into, guessing this is the outskirts of Highwood, as we finish our 1 in 150 climb. I think that's the end of the climb. Oh, we are still climbing even into the platform. That's good, so this wood is indeed quite high. There is the actual village ahead of us. I like the from a modeller's point of view, it's been very clever in the sense that all the villages are very modular, in that, you know, you don't feel like you just assume that the roads connect all of them. You don't necessarily have to see the roads connecting them to believe it. It's actually an interesting tactic, which is why this route has run at nearly 30 frames a second for the entirety, and I'm rendering a video as we speak as well, so for TrainSIm that's good. As we come in through the, again, another goods yard. A nice engine shed there. Football pitch, church. This is a slightly bigger place, I suspect. I don't know if he intends to extend this route further, but as you can see, while I'm pointing at the screen, see just there, that is where the end of the track actually is. We'll go and have a look at that in a second once I've brought the locomotive to, hopefully not a shuddering or screeching halt. You know, having just done my best ever stop, this is going to be one of my worst again. Throwing in reverse. Yep, this one sucked. Okay, there we go. Just about made that respectable. So while it tells me that I've finished the scenario, let's go and have a look. Yes, as you can see out here, this is where the railway stops, but I suspect that there might be, that there may well one day be an extension of this line again. I don't know, I'm not promising that, so please don't hassle the developer if he doesn't, but it would be nice to see it elongated. It's quite nice, maybe go down to a big city at the end. So yes, we've reached the end of that one, and again, another very nice route as we look over Highwood village itself. Again, very well, nice and self-contained. We'll see if we can get one last shot of the GNR N2. So yeah, again, a very nice, pleasant route. Check it out in the description below. Check out the TrainSIm 2018 in the description below. Check out the digital traction stuff in the description below as well. I got it on a sale, so it will be slightly more expensive for you guys now, unless you catch it on another sale. But yeah, so check out the rest of my check out the rest of my railway stuff in the description below. Check out Snowed or Snippets. If you're brand new to the channel, check out the first episode. Check out the rest of the playlist of this one. And thank you very much for watching. I was me. That was the Southbridge to Highwood route via the Steam Workshop on TrainSIm 2018. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. Look at things like Railway Modeller, the magazine, or any modelling magazine. Other ones are available. I'm not being sponsored by Railway Modeller or not at all. Although Railway Modeller, if you're listening, Pico through and through. But what am I doing? What was that? On many levels, like I said, highly inaccurate, but good fun. Yeah, just to let you know, cars, there's one dead person, never mind.